hold up, I am on my way, I'm in motion. Let's go to the ocean. Yeah, let's go outside. We can hang out on the beach without freezing. Yeah, isn't that amazing? In Christmas times.
Welcome to Crafty Beach. This is Julie. Today I have 5 new Christmas Dollar Tree DIYs for you. I had a lot of fun putting these together for you, and they're all brand new. For the first one, we're going to use 2 of the clear ornaments from the Dollar Tree. As you can see, these are not the small ones. These are the larger ones, and I got 2 clear ones. I'm going to frost them with the Rust-Oleum frosted glass. It comes in a spray like this, and it's so easy to use. It's just like spray paint. So I want to be able to do the top and the bottom. It's kind of easier to stand them on the top of it there where it has a little bit of a neck. So I'm just going to go ahead and spray that in first. And it doesn't take very much of this. You're just going to want to try to get an even coat on it. I wanted the glass to be frosted so it looks frosty, kind of like a snowman, which is what we're going to be making out of this one. So I'm not going to do like a 3-part snowman. I'm only going to do 2 to make it a little bit stable, more stable, and allow it to stand up. So I just go ahead and spray them all over with that. I love using it. When it goes on, as you can see, it starts to frost a little bit, but as it dries, it frosts really well. See the difference? That's why I wanted to go ahead and include the drying time with you so you can kind of see what happens with it. So when you're spraying it on there, you might not think you have very much on there, but once it dries, it's going to be frosted and cool looking just like this. And the heat gun, no problems at all using that. I did notice this one had a little bit area that needed a little bit more, so you can just add to that. And this is going to be the head and the body of our snowman that we're going to DIY. I really like the clear ornaments from the Dollar Tree. They have so many possibilities, and this is one I hadn't considered before, but I really love it. Now I'm going to be using my Posca paint pens. I love these things. I usually get them on Amazon, sometimes at Target. I think Michael's even has them as well. They just work so good. I have them, I think, in every color now. I do have them linked in my Amazon shop too, because I love them so much. And I just do 2, circles for the eyes, 5 little dots of kohl for the mouth. So super easy. And then I'm going to switch to my orange paint pen, and we're going to do the little carrot nose. So I just kind of sketch that out, kind of going off to the side, and then go fill it in with like little curved lines, almost like C's, to kind of make it look like a textured carrot. And I think that looks really cute. A snowman face is so easy to do. Now for the body of the snowman, I thought it'd be cute to do buttons. And so Dollar Tree does have these little jars of buttons. I just picked out 3 small black ones that I think are going to be the perfect size for this. Now I want to cover up the top of that ornament. So I'm going to have that be in a snowman boot. He's going to be wearing some snow boots. So I kind of want it a little bit off center there. And I just glue those going straight down where that is going to be one of the legs of the little snowman, if that makes sense. This is what I'm talking about. These are the little booty ornaments they have every year at Dollar Tree. I love these. I've made a Christmas tree gnome with these before. And it stands up on its own, so it gave me this great idea to try to make a snowman as well. It's got like the little pom-poms. It has a cute little red and white snowflake pattern. And this is what I was talking about. I thought I can hide the top of this ornament underneath the booty. So I'm just going to go ahead and hot glue that on. Now, one thing I didn't consider when I was first attaching these is that I should weigh them down because I want it to be bottom heavy. I do go back and remove these and add some pebbles to it. So I would definitely encourage weighing it down because you're going to want it to be, heavier at the bottom so it doesn't tip over. I don't know what I was thinking with this, but I just went ahead and hot glued on the second one. I don't want them to be like straight flat. I kind of want them to be off to the sides like this. So it kind of looks like the snowman's trying to learn how to walk in snow boots. I thought that would be a cute look. And so they're kind of going off to the sides a little bit. Next up, I need some snowman arms. So I went out to the yard and tried to find some twigs And I'm just going to make them work. I want it to be rather small, and I want them to both have like little branching hands. And so I think this is going to work. They are a little bit different in diameter, which did make it a little bit difficult when attaching them, because that one is a little bit thicker than the other one, but I do want them to be about the same length, and I do want them to be different. Now, I've seen people do this before. I tried this with both of my hot glue guns, melting a hole in there because I needed a hole to be able to put my sticks in. I don't know why. Neither one of my hot glue guns ever work with that. So I don't know. Maybe it's just the hot glue guns I have. So I switched to the drill. I picked out a smaller drill bit for the one that was skinnier, and then a larger one for the other side because that twig was a little bit bigger. And I was able to drill holes in there without any damage, because I thought it would be way more stable for the arms to be in the ornament a little bit so they won't fall off. I add a little hot glue to the hole that I drilled and just put one of the twigs right in there sticking out of the side. Snowman arms are so easy because usually they are just sticks, so this is perfect. And then I also want to add a little snow around the area, so you won't see like where I drilled a hole in there. I'm going to use like some Epsom salt to make little like snowy areas around the snowman. I was inspired to make this DIY off of a snowman that I saw. Trying to remember, I can't remember who the creator was. She made hers like upside down. If I can find that, I'll include a link to that in the description of this video. But I want my snowman to be right side up. And so she had added like some snow to hers. I thought I could get like that snowy look like this just by using some school glue and some Epsom salt. So I just put little snow piles around the arms. And then I thought it would also be cute to do like snow around the top of the boot, just kind of covering any seams. It's going to give it that frosty look to go with the frosted ornament. And so I just put school glue down and just put some Epsom salt. And Dollar Tree has Epsom salt. I picked that Dollar Tree, that up at Dollar Tree as well. I just made sure to get like the regular kind. So I didn't want it to be like dyed any colors or anything like that. I don't know if they changed the colors up on those. Now for the snowman hat, I'm going to create it with one of these little paper mache boxes that I got at the Crafter Square at Dollar Tree. And I think it's the perfect size for a snowman hat. It's going to need a brim though. So I'm going to use some black cardstock from Dollar Tree. And I just tried to find something that was a little bit wider and a circle to sketch that out. I just used a pot. And then I can go ahead and cut this out. I always have like such a difficult time cutting perfect circles. So anytime I can have like a guide like this, it's going to help me out. It's still not going to be perfect, but it's going to be sort of round. And this is going to be the brim of the hat. And then this is going to be the top part of the hat. So I'm going to need to paint it to match. So I just use some black acrylic paint. This is actually the Dollar Tree, I think, chalkboard paint, but it is a great for any black. As you can see, it's super dark, just like the ink color that way you get, and it's super inexpensive. I always had a little bit too much paint on there, so I'm going to try to use that for the cap of it as well. I need to go around the sides. I am going to include like a little ribbon to go around his hat to dress him up a little bit. And so I'm just going to go ahead and start with the lid part. This is what I'm going to use to go around the brim of the hat, the red and white gingham ribbon from Dollar Tree. And I'm just going to cut out a piece large enough. I think that's going to go really cute with his little boots that we added. And I just attached that with a little bit of hot glue. It's just about the perfect width to cover this part of it, the hat. And I was having trouble figuring out something from the Dollar Tree that I can make a hat with, and I think this turned out really cute. So that's going to be the brim, so I can just go ahead and attach the lid to that. The little round box is going to be upside down on top of the snowman's head. So that looks pretty good. I just went ahead and put it together. I did add a little hot glue on that so that it will all stay together. And we have our little snowman hat. Isn't that super cute? Now I thought I would put the top of the ornament into the hat so that will hide that part of that ornament as well. So I just kind of sketch out where that would be here on the brim of the hat. and I'm going to cut an opening for that. Now, one thing that I did is I went back and made this hole larger because I don't want it to sit on the very tippy top of his head. I want it to look like the snowman is kind of wearing the hat a little bit. So you might want to cut this part larger than you need. I just used a razor blade and kind of poked a hole in that. And I went ahead and added a little hot glue there and added the ornament to the snowman hat. And that's what it looks like at that point. I didn't like it very much, so I went ahead and pulled it off. That's why it's kind of ripped a little bit. And I'm going to cut the hole wider so that it sits down on his head just a little bit. Now, since that box is made out of paper mache, it is pretty easy to cut. It's just like cutting like cardboard. So I'm just going to cut it out a little bit larger than needed. You still won't be able to see any of those ripped parts because they'll be kind of hidden away in the seam there. And I think maybe just a little bit wider. I'm just using my heavy duty scissors to help me cut a circle. And I guess if you wanted, you could cut it even larger to represent like an actual hat that sits on there. But I think this is going to be big enough. I just put some hot glue around the ring again and sit my ornament in there. And it's still kind of on the top of his head, but I was happy with it. I think we can make this work. Just making sure that's glued on. And since I've added the little snowy areas around the snowman arms and his boots, I thought I would also add some here, a little bit of snow on the top of his head. I think Epsom salt just makes the perfect snow. It dries, it looks kind of like slushy snow. I really love the appearance of it. It's one of my favorite faux snows. I use it a lot in winter crafting. So here is his body. That's when I realized that I should have weighted down his booties. So I'm just going to go ahead and pull those off, and just using some Dollar Tree stones, you can use whatever you have. Definitely weigh down the booties before you put them on because it's just going to make him stand up so much better. I usually remember this step. I don't know why I forgot. I think I was just really excited to get going on this little guy. So I added stones to each one and then just reattaching the booty right where I had it before with some hot glue. And I had put some snow around that, the Epsom salt, and it still looks pretty good, but here on the front where it's super visible, I thought I would add a little bit more just to make sure you don't see a seam there. And I love the idea of the snowman wearing the little winter boots. Whenever I can craft with those ornaments from the Dollar Tree, I always try to. I think they're so cute for winter crafting. So now it's time to put our snowman together. I'm not going to use anything like physically to attach them. Since it's pretty lightweight, it's just a Christmas ornament. With the hat on it, I just use some hot glue and I glue the two plastic ornaments together. But I wanted to do all the hard part first before I go ahead and attach them together. That is kind of a final step. Now I do want a scarf to go around the neck of the snowman, and it's going to kind of cover up that seam a little bit. And I'm actually going to use these red washcloths that I get at Dollar Tree. I always try to go every aisle in Dollar Tree and find whatever craft materials I can use. And the washcloths and the towels actually makes really great crafting material. So I just cut one of the little sections like that. It's not quite long enough though, so I'm going to have to cut another one and make our scarf a little bit longer. I liked the color of this red. I think it matches well with the booties. And it's kind of like a material that you would see a scarf made out of. So now that I have two strips, I'm just going to attach them together with some hot glue to make one longer scarf. And this is going to I'm just going to tie this around his neck and give our little snowman a scarf. Super cute. He's got the carrot nose. He's got the snowman hat, buttons. He's got the cold face. I love him. The only thing really unique is the little snow boots, which I think is so fun. So I just tie that around his neck like that, where one end goes down the front and one in the back. And then I'm just going to trim them up a little bit to make it exactly the length that I want it. Now it's time to decorate his hat a little bit. I think it looks a little bit plain, so I'm going to add some Dollar Tree greenery. This one's a little too big. I love this though. It kind of looks like a snowy evergreen. So I just cut one little piece down into two. I can have it go like to each side like that. And that's going to look really cute on his hat. So I'm just going to attach that with a little bit of hot glue. I just wanted like a little bit of Christmas greenery, some red berries I think would look really cute on there too, since he has all the red accents. So this is just a bundle I got of pine cones and red berries. I love using that because it comes with all different kinds of different things that you can use to decorate winter DIYs like this and for Christmas. So I just cut out two of the berries. The only thing I don't like about any of the berries like that from the Dollar Tree is I find that they're often scuffed or they stick together and you see the white through it. But it's no big deal. You can always just use a paint pen and kind of go over it to cover up any of the red spots, but they look really cute for Christmas crafting. Now, I thought it would also be cute to add some snow to his hat. So I do a little bit of school glue here just on one side and then have it dripping down the top of his hat to look like he's got a little bit of snow here too to go with the snowy look. So I just add Epsom salt there and he is really coming together. I think he's so cute. I cannot wait to display him for Christmas. I still have all my fall crafts up and all my Thanksgiving crafts that I've made here on my channel. But we'll see how long it'll take. I'm going to have to get all my Christmas stuff out for sure. And he is my first DIY of the season. Isn't he so cute? I really love how the little snowman hat turned out. The little snowy touches, the frosted ornaments, and the little Epsom salt like snow in the little areas, I think really makes them look frosty and cool. And you can kind of see how the booties kind of go off to the side, kind of making them look a little bit clumsy on the snow boots, but I think he's super cute. Hey guys, are you enjoying today's video? If you are, be sure to hit that like button. It always helps my videos do better here on YouTube. The next Christmas DIY, we're going to make a Christmas lantern. I'm going to make windows for the little Dollar Tree lantern that you see there with some of the flexible cutting mats. These are great because they're like kind of like frosted glass windows, right? If you put that in the different windows of the Dollar Tree lantern. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut down 3 windows. Because I do want an opening in the back, I'm going to be putting a light in there. You could also use like a battery operated candle in there as well. But I actually end up using a Dollar Tree push light because it's going to be brighter to light up my Christmas design. So I just cut one bigger than the window that will fit in there, right? And I use that as a template to cut down 2 more. So I have 3 windows. And what we're going to do is we're going to decoupage the cutting mats to make a great Christmas print to go inside the lantern. But I wasn't happy with the gold lantern. I wanted it to look like wood. I thought that would be really pretty. And so to do that, I'm going over it with some, I think this is called Beachcombers Beige by Apple Barrel. And I am just distressing. As you can see, a little bit of the gold is shining through. I'm just working in one direction. And what I want to do is give it a faux wood grain. So I went ahead and did 2 sides of it, dried those, and I'm going to go ahead and do the other 2 sides. Now this is going to be the base color for the wood. I am going to go in there with a darker color to make it look like a rich, warm wood lantern. And I love the way it turned out. Now, if you wanted it a solid color, and again, you find one that's not quite the color scheme that you like, I think they also have these in black. You can always paint these, and I think it painted really nicely. So I made sure to get the ring there on the top as well. Now for the wood look, I'm using Antique Wax by Waverly. My bottle there has been spilled a few times, can you tell? And I am just distressing in the same direction to give that faux wood grain. I do that there on the side and also on the top. And it is really easy to do this. It's very forgiving. If you get too much somewhere, you can kind of spread it out, but I'm trying to use as little of the antique wax as possible on there, but I do want kind of a rich color. So I think this is going to look really pretty. And see how it gives you that wood grain look? That is exactly what I'm going for. Now, the only disadvantage is that it takes a lot longer for this to dry, the Antique Wax by Waverly, than it does paint. When you use it on wood, I find that it dries really quickly, but whenever I use it on metal or something like this, it does take a while. And it's the only thing that I have found that my heat gun really doesn't help speed up. So keep that in mind. You're going to want to let this sit because it will still be wet when you think it should be dry. But within a day, it will definitely be dry and you should be able to handle it. So I just went over all 4 sides, just as stressing. Also the ring, can't forget that. I want all of it to look like wood. And I think that looks pretty good. I'm going to try to dry it a little bit to speed up my crafting since I got lots of DIY crafts for you today, but I can start working on the windows as well too. So I found this tissue paper at Dollar Tree the other day with their like Christmas gift wrap and stuff like that. And I thought this would be perfect. I couldn't really find any Christmas napkins that I liked for this. And so I thought this pattern was really cute. It's bright red. It's got Santa Claus, Christmas trees, reindeer, very Christmassy. And I can just cover the little windows to the lantern with this. So I'm going to go ahead and cut out enough to cover all 3 windows. And we're just going to simply decoupage this. Like if I were using a napkin or something like that, I think the tissue paper is going to work great. The only thing is you're going to have to make sure that you get a thin coat of Mod Podge when you do this because you don't want any wrinkling if you can avoid it. So I try to put it down and smooth it down, making sure my fingers are dry. I don't want to rip the tissue paper. It is thin. The first one I didn't get all the way over to the edge like that, but remember I cut it a little bit larger, so I think that you won't be able to tell. And here is our first window. I just go ahead and cut off the excess tissue paper on that one. And I'm going to do the same thing with the other 2 windows. It's definitely crucial to only do 2 because otherwise you're not going to be able to get in it to be able to turn your candle or your light on and off. And isn't this pattern so cute? I think it's very festive. It's going to look great with our faux wood on there. And we're also going to decorate the top of the lantern as well. So that's our second panel. And this would be great if you have some leftover tissue paper like this from Christmas. This is a great way to craft with it as well. It's like a gift for you too. So this is our 3rd window. And then I want to attach it. Again, mine wasn't quite as dry as I like, so I'm going to have to be careful with it. And I just put some hot glue on all 4 sides. Does kind of want to melt the plastic a little bit, but this part you have to be very quick with if you're going to use hot glue. I got to pop it in there and get it in there before my hot glue starts to set up. If you don't want to rush that step, you could just do 1 or 2 sides and then kind of go in from the front and do the other sides, but I was able to get it in there in time. I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing here with the other one. Very quickly go around all 4 sides and then pop it in there. Trying to make sure not to get hot glue on anything else in the meantime. Here is our 3rd and final one. Same thing, act quickly. You're going to do it all in one step like this. And then just push down on all 4 sides to make sure that it gets a good even coating. Now this is what I'm going to use to light mine up, the Dollar Tree push light. It's way brighter than the Dollar Tree battery operated candle, and so it's going to light it up a lot better, I think. Just going to touch up the ring there, and then I also want to decorate the top of it too. So I'm going to use some of the wired garland they have from the Dollar Tree. I just take a piece and like wrap it around. I do want that ring to stick up, and once I wrap it, it's going to kind of stick up on its own. So I just wrap that around. I love the wired garland like this from the Dollar Tree. It comes in these perfect sizes, and the wire makes it easy to mold and do things like this with it. So I'm going to have another piece kind of go around here with a couple pieces kind of hanging down. I do have an extra piece that I cut off there, so I'll add that too, just to make the garland look a little bit fuller. And I think one more will do the trick and make sure that the top of it is standing up like I want to. So I just wind that around there again too, kind of arranging it how I like. And then I'm also going to use some of that Christmas greenery that we used before on the DIY to decorate this too. There are little pine cones on here that you can take off. And so I love the size of these. I think these are perfect for crafting. And this is just a pick from the Dollar Tree from the Christmas section. I just used some heat to get the pine cones off. They are glued on there pretty well. And then you have great things like this to decorate things with. And decorating the top of this is really going to make it look festive for Christmas. So I do a pine cone there on each side. And then I'm also going to do one, I think, in the front. I'm also going to add some of their like little red berries like this too. Just trying to figure out how many I need. I decided to kind of cut mine apart into some littler pieces so I can just attach what I want. So just attaching that with hot glue too. The red looks really good against the Christmas green. And I just put a couple of pieces of that in. And again, the great thing about those Christmas picks is that you're going to get pine cones, you got the berries. There's also like leaves on there and a little bit of extra Christmas greenery. Again, my berries were a little scratched up, so I touched those up with a little bit of paint pen. And then I like some of this greenery too. I think this looks kind of cool. So I cut down a couple pieces of that. We're going to have those kind of coming out from underneath the berries, hot gluing those to the top. And this lantern is almost complete. It turned out so cute. And it's the first time that I've used one of these lanterns like this by making windows for it. And I really love how it turned out. I'm going to go ahead and use that last pine cone and put that right there on the front. I think that's going to be the perfect final touch to our little DIY lantern. And I have built like lots of lanterns from scratch with Dollar Tree products. So I am really glad that they are coming with some pre-made lanterns like this, especially for us crafters. So here it is. We have our faux wood grain. We have the Christmas windows. So festive and fun. And I will try to show you how it looks lit up as well. The top looks really festive with all the Christmas greenery. This is what it looks like during the day. So it's super cute during the day too when you don't have it lit up. You have Santa like riding a reindeer. We have Christmas trees. And I love the faux wood grain. I think that really makes it look interesting. Now let me also show you what it looks like lit up. As you can see, that push light, very bright, so it illuminates the entire thing and makes it really bright and serves the purpose of the lantern. When I tried one of the Dollar Tree candles inside, it just barely lit up and flickered a little bit, but I wanted it to really shine. So another fun Christmas craft. I really hope you guys enjoyed this one as well. Now for the next one, we're going to do a reindeer and like a reindeer barn, kind of like something that you would see at the North Pole. So I picked up a reindeer sign from the Dollar Tree Christmas section and a house sign from the Crafter Square at Dollar Tree. And we're going to make that into a barn is my intention. Now I do want to kind of cover up the wood here on the base of our deer first. And I want to make him look really cool. He's got this like red and black buffalo check, but I want to cover him in cinnamon. I think that will look really cool. The brown's going to go great for a reindeer. It's going to make it smell great for Christmas time. But I was worried the cinnamon wouldn't cover up this bright red pattern on here, right? So I go over the whole thing with just some real brown apple barrel acrylic paint first. As you can see, the first coat with a sponge on there barely gave me any coverage whatsoever. So I'm going to have to take a couple of coats of brown on there first, and that's going to give me a great background for the cinnamon we're going to add. I used cinnamon to craft a fall wreath with Dollar Tree squirrels, and I loved the effect. So I wanted to see if I could recreate it for a Christmas project, and I think it turned out really well. Now, once I get the paint on there and dry, I'm going to do some Mod Podge, and I'm going to go over the entire thing with Mod Podge. You could also use school glue for this. It's going to be kind of like gluing on sand. You guys have seen I've done that on many coastal projects. But you're going to need a nice coat of glue first. And then what I'm going to do is go on there and sprinkle the cinnamon on top. Now, this does make a big mess. I probably should have put something down below before I did it because it was a little messy. So keep that in mind. I just sprinkle my cinnamon all over, and you can get cinnamon from the Dollar Tree too to craft with. I just grabbed mine out of the spice cabinet to make it easy. And then I'm going to go over it with some spray glue. This is the one I'm using. It's a Gorilla spray glue adhesive. I usually use the spray glue aerosol cans like that from the Dollar Tree, but I've had trouble finding them lately. So I had to get some on Amazon, and I do like it. I think I have it linked in my Amazon shop as well, too, if you need some spray adhesive. I did notice that when I dried it, some of my cinnamon came off. So I added a little bit more Mod Podge and sprinkled more cinnamon on that area to try to fix that. And it is going to require several coats to get me a really even brown coating of the cinnamon all over the reindeer. So I sprayed it with the glue again. As you can see, that spray glue glues it from the top, so it's going to glue it down, but it also kind of changes the texture and the color of it as well. I noticed that the legs really needed more cinnamon, and the head and the antlers too. So I'm going to add a little bit more Mod Podge, and we're going to sprinkle on more cinnamon. And I'm just going to kind of keep adding cinnamon to it until I get a good coverage. So I just sprinkle that all over too. And then again, spray it down with the adhesive. And I love the way this project smells. It's so cool. I'm going to make this a standalone sign using that stand that's on the reindeer. But if you wanted to make this a hanging sign, you probably could. I thought the legs, the antlers, a couple areas needed a little bit more cinnamon. So again, more Mod Podge, more cinnamon, and then more spray adhesive. It's starting to look more uniform. I think one area here, the legs over here, maybe needs a little bit more. I'm really trying to avoid any of the white areas, and I want it all to be nice and brown. This is what it looks like. I think it's really cool. A little cinnamon reindeer. Just going to go ahead and remove the painter's tape, and we can start on our barn. Now, I know this is a house, but I'm going to show you how I convert it into a barn. This Dollar Tree wood signs are usually not very thick, so you can cut them. So I just use a razor blade, and I am going to cut the chimney off, and that's going to give it more of the A-frame, like barn shape that I want without a chimney. So I just cut that from both sides and try to trim it up a little bit to give myself a smooth roof line for this. Now I want to decorate this like this would be a barn at the North Pole, Santa's Village. And so I'm going to make it red, add some Christmas lights and greenery to it to make it really festive. Now, since I want to make it red and it's currently black, I know they have these in different colors. This was the only one I could find at Dollar Tree. It's going to need to be painted a little bit white first. Otherwise, it was going to be really hard to get that black to red because that black's going to want to show through the red and make it look dark. I want it to look bright red and festive, so I just go over it with some white acrylic first, using a brush to kind of get down into the grooves of the slatted boards. And then for the paint, we're going to use bright red acrylic, and we're going to go over everything here. I'm not going to paint the roof a different color, but I am going to decorate the roof, so that kind of gives it a little bit differing colors and make some definition for the roof. So I just go over the whole thing with the bright red. And then I also go in the different seams there with a brush. And, you know, red is hard to get good coverage. So even though I did paint it white first, it is still going to take a couple of coats here to give me a bright red. So I just add another coat of red. And then I'm going to decorate this with some paint pens. Nothing crazy. I'm not going to add any words or anything to it. I don't think it's really large enough for that, but I am going to add some fun little barn touches. So I start with my white paint pen and a ruler, and we're going to make a barn doors on this. Now I would like it to be a little thicker, so I do a double line here of my paint pen. The other side of the door is going to be right over here to paint that on, and I want it to look like a traditional barn door. So we're going to do like the X shape on it. So I'm going to do the top of it like this, and I'm trying to not, mess up any of that fresh paint. So I do make sure that's dry, and then I'm going to go on and draw the X on here for our barn door. I thought about making a little window at the top, like with a loft. But I am going to decorate that with Christmas lights and stuff, so I don't think it really needs any more details. I think this is going to give me the barn look. I also went ahead and did the bottom of the door too to make that stand out. It's already looking way more like a barn. Now for the roof line, I told you I was going to decorate it with lights and greenery. So again, I'm going to be using some of these garland pieces from the Dollar Tree. I end up only using one of them and some of their battery operated LED lights. These are like the warm white ones, so they kind of have a little bit of a yellow tint, which I really love. They require 2 AA batteries, and they have, I think, 10 LED lights on there. And that's going to be plenty to light up the roof line of our little reindeer barn. So I'm going to pop the batteries in there, make sure it works, and unwind these. I am going to then wrap that around the greenery, and it's going to look so festive and fun that we can light this piece up too. And I'll just hide the battery pack on the back. You really have to start right on these. I kind of got them a little bit tangled, so I'm just trying to make sure they're all straightened out before I start wrapping the greenery. And since this was wired greenery, it makes this part even easier. I'm just going to wind it around until I get all the way to the end. I noticed that about 5 of the lights it took for one piece. And so I'm going to double it up. So I switch it the other direction and I wrap it again and do 5 more lights. So all 10 lights are going to be on that one piece of garland, and it is just the right size there for the roof. So I bend it in half, and then I'm just going to attach that with hot glue to the roof line of our barn. And what we're going to do is we're going to be standing the reindeer in front of the barn, and it just looks so festive together for Christmas. I always love crafting with like Santa, snowmen, but also reindeer. I think it's really fun. I'm going to, again, hide the battery pack here on the back. So I'm going to leave it where I can still change the batteries. I made sure to do that side up, but it's going to be easily accessible to be able to turn on and off, and you won't be able to see it back there on the back of our barn. Now for the second piece of greenery, I'm going to use that to make a little wreath to decorate the top of our barn. So I just need a piece small enough that I can make a little circle with, and we can just do a very simple wreath. And since this is like, you know, at the North Pole, they would definitely have that decorated. You got to make sure that you kind of have the wire twisted. There, that looks good. I'm going to attach that with hot glue as well. Super cute and festive. I am loving this project so far. Now I did want to add a few berries to that. I actually have these left over from the 4th of July. Sometimes I use some of the 4th of July things that I have left over for Christmas too, because again, you're going to get the same colors with that red color. So I just do a few berries, and I'm going to attach it right here to the bottom of the wreath. Nothing fancy, kind of simple. Again, it got a little chipped there, so I just kind of touch it up a little bit with our red berries, and I think the barn is perfect. So I want to attach this to the front. This is going to also be standing up the barn. So I just add some hot glue here to the back, and I'm going to glue it on level with the bottom of the barn. And I think I'm going to center it here. I think that makes more sense for me. And then I did get a little bit of cinnamon on the base of that, but I wanted it to look snowy. So I'm going to add a snowy bottom to the reindeer anyway to make it look like he's standing in snow. To do that, I'm going to use one of the Dollar Tree microfiber mop heads. I love using these for snow for crafts. They make great like snowy cover for like if you put like on winter houses and stuff like that. I've used that from before with my gingerbread crafting. I love it. I cut out a strip here for the front that I can attach to the base. And then I don't have a lot of room behind the reindeer, so I tried to cut down a very thin strip of it. But if you go too thin on these microfiber mop heads, they kind of fall apart. But that's okay. I can just use the pieces and just kind of glue them down separately. I just want a little bit of snow to be behind him as well. And so I just cut that fluff down and glue it back there. And then I can attach that larger strip that I cut to the front for the front of the snowy area. So I just attach that with hot glue too. And they do like to shed when you cut them, so make sure you kind of get all of that off before you attach it to your DIY. But look how cute our little reindeer and barn turned out. I love it. It stands on its own, and it looks so cute lit up. Isn't that so festive and fun for Christmas? And it smells great too because it smells like cinnamon. And it looks really cool with the reindeer being all textured like that too, I think. And then, of course, our little snowy ground underneath. Really goes with the Christmas feel. And I love the bright red color of the barn. Hey guys, have you checked out my website yet? It's craftybeach.net. I'm archiving my DIYs over there that you can pin them to make them later by using Pinterest. Okay, for the next DIY, I'm going to use a Dollar Tree party hat and one of their like gnome stockings and reindeer moss. And we're going to make a Mossy Santa gnome. I love how this turned out. Now, I've been complaining forever that my Dollar Tree didn't have any reindeer moss. Well, all of my Dollar Trees have it in now, so I'm so excited. I had to stock up. I'm using one of the large party hats from the Dollar Tree. I just removed all of the tinsel from the bottom and the top. Don't need that. Don't need the little hanger to go around. But this makes a perfect size gnome or like Christmas tree. I use these a lot. Now, this is a very bright pattern on this party hat, so I am definitely going to have to paint it first. What I want to do is cover the entire cone shape with the Dollar Tree reindeer moss. But I don't want any of this bright red color or the words showing through if there are any bald parts of the moss. So I painted this leafy green first. I thought one coat was going to be enough, but it's such a bright red pattern that it was still pretty bold. So I am going to go over it with a second coat of the leafy green to make sure I have a really good base for this project before I get started with the moss. I want to cover the whole thing in moss. It's going to make him look so cool. And then I'm going to use one of these gnome stockings from the Dollar Tree for the beard and the nose. It's already built. All you have to do is get it off. I'm using my heat gun very carefully because this fabric definitely melts, just to melt the hot glue enough to detach the little gnome beard and nose. And then I'm going to use a Dollar Tree stocking to make a cute little gnome Santa hat. I want it to be long and skinny like a gnome hat would be, but I also want it to be red and white plush like a Santa hat. So I turn the stocking inside out, and I'm going to kind of go with the inside cut of that. That's perfect. But I'm going to kind of sketch out a long skinny gnome hat like I want it to look. And we are going to go ahead and use that seam. Might as well. But then I'm just going to cut it wider than what I need here on the other side, so I have plenty of room to hot glue that to make a Santa hat. Now, I hate sewing, and so this is going to be a no-sew Santa hat. I'm just going to use hot glue. Now, I'm going to glue it inside out like this. You might want to do it the right direction because it's so skinny that it was really hard to turn it inside out. But this is the way that I made mine. I hot glued on that little border that I have there. And this was the difficult part, getting that skinny tip to go through. I was trying like a paintbrush, whatever I could find to try to help me. I kind of had to just work like little part by part to get it all out, but it did turn out really cute. But I did pull apart the seam a little bit, so I will have to do a little bit of repair work here now. I pulled out the seam a little bit right there, so I'm going to glue that tighter so you can't see. And this really reminds me of a gnome hat. It's really kind of cute. It goes off to the side a little bit. And then for the white cuff, I just go ahead and glue those to each other, just finishing off the cuff there of our no-sew Santa hat. And this was just the perfect size for the top of that party hat. So we have the Santa hat ready. I do end up using a pom-pom on the end, and the beard and the nose is ready. I'm going to kind of see how much moss I need. So I put my Santa hat on, measure how long my beard is, and just kind of draw a line on my cone. And that's how far I will have to go up with moss. It took about exactly 2 packages. I did have to break into a third package, but you might get away with 2 packages of this to cover it. I don't want it to be super thick, so I'm trying to kind of pull the pieces apart a little bit. And I just did 2 rows of hot glue and just gluing that all the way up. Since I painted the party hat green, it's very forgiving. It doesn't have to be perfect. And we're going to cover this entire thing with this. I love this idea. I think this looks really cool. I'm always looking for a way to make a seasonal gnome. I think they're so fun. Now, if you wanted to make this project more for outdoors, you could use one of the Dollar Tree traffic cones, maybe something made out of plastic, and attach the paint it, attach the moss to that, and it would be something that would hold up a little bit better outside, like on your porch. That would be really cute too, especially since it's mossy looking, right? I'm just going to continue going kind of one section at a time. 2 rows of hot glue seem to work really well to grab my moss. And I'm so glad that Dollar Tree has this back in. I had to go to Walmart last time to buy some, and I do not like going there. So a few more areas until he's all covered. Again, I don't have to do the very tip where the hat is going to be because you wouldn't be able to see the moss under there. And 2.5 packages covered the whole thing. I'm going to make sure everything's attached. There's not like any obvious bald areas there. And you can always trim it up a little bit to try to make it look a little bit better. But I kind of like it looking a little bit crazy like that. Now we can go ahead and put our Santa gnome together. Here is the beard. It's already got the nose attached, so that's super easy. I use some hot glue along the top and glue it down to the reindeer moss. And I'm also going to glue down the beard a little bit just to make sure that it sticks closely to the gnome. The moss is pretty forgiving with the hot glue. And then this is the hat. Now, I do want it to stand up like a gnome hat, though. And it wants to flop over. So I'm going to use a little bit of the Dollar Tree Crafter Square polyfill. You can always use an old pillow for this, too. And just stuff the hat, and it's going to make it stand up on its own. I use a pair of scissors to kind of push it down in there. And a little spatula, too, to get it down to the tip of that long, skinny gnome hat. And I hadn't decided if I was going to put a pom-pom on the end at this point, but I do end up, because Santa's hat does have a pom-pom on the end. I think a little bit more polyfill and it's going to stand up on its own. This piece is actually really large. Since I used that large party hat from the Dollar Tree, it's really kind of a statement piece and it's so fun. I think I'm going to have this in my entryway for Christmas. He's so cute. And you know what? I've converted my husband because he told me to make a Santa gnome. So he smiled big when I showed him this because he used to hate gnomes and I think I've changed him. I picked up some pom-poms here from the Dollar Tree Crafter Square and I'm going to use one of the smaller white ones. I don't want it to be too crazy. Right here on the end of our gnome hat and attach that with a little bit of hot glue. Doesn't he look so festive and fun? I love how our little Santa gnome turned out. I definitely wanted a project I could use the moss with because I've been looking for it forever. I was so glad they have it back in stock. But here it is, our kind of pretty giant Mossy Santa Gnome. He is probably, I don't know, 2.5 feet tall. He's pretty tall, as you can see. I love him. Hey guys, I would love to see what you've been crafting. Be sure to join our private Facebook group. It's linked in the description of this video, and you can share your DIYs with the rest of the crafty beach bums. We would love to see it. Okay, back to the Christmas DIYs. For this one, I'm going to use a Dollar Tree vase. I just picked up the $1.25 one. I still have a Dollar Tree that's not a Dollar Tree Plus, and I really like going there because I try to avoid the Plus items a lot because they're so expensive. And I'm actually going to make a scarf. For the bottom of the vase, I want to make this into a snowman as well. It's going to be kind of a snowman head. And I wanted something red and white and festive to use to make a scarf for the bottom. And so I actually just used the top of one of the little gnome stockings. But you have to be really careful. As you can see, this stuff melts. So I'm just using enough heat just to make the hot glue melt a little bit so I can cut that fabric off because I really liked that pattern, the red and white snowflake pattern. And so I thought I would use it. I always try to save all my scraps from other crafting projects. Now, I don't really want the seam to be on the front of the fabric, so I took my time here on the front of the snowman to make sure that I just cut the seam apart. And I won't have that, but I don't really care about the second piece because this piece is not long enough to make it all the way around the Dollar Tree vase. And I'm going to decorate this like that. Now, I'm not going to frost this one. I'm going to show you a different method that you can use to make a snowman with Dollar Tree glass or plastic products like this and make it look like snow. So this is going to be the scarf. I'm just going to have it lay flat against the vase, but it's just going to provide a pop of color. And that's why I had to do two, is because it wasn't quite long enough to make it all the way around. And since it is a round piece like this, I think it does need to go all the way around on this project. And this is going to be a light up snowman. It turned out so cute. It is so fun. So I'm going to use my second little piece here for the back, just to make sure it goes all the way around. And then I'm going to glue the front too to make sure it doesn't slip down like that and stays in place. Now we're going to do a snowman face on the vase. I'm using a black paint pen and we're going to do two little ovals here for our snowman eyes. I do go back and add like a little eye spot in those to make them look super cute. And then we're going to do the traditional like coal mouth. I just do 5 black dots here for the snowman mouth. You could also draw us a grin on there too if you don't want to do the coal. And then I'm going to do the carrot nose with my orange paint pen by sketching out a nice size carrot here and filling it in with the little stripes. The black went on really well. The orange kind of looks a little bit distressed, but for a carrot, I kind of like that look. I think it looks cool. Just trying to make it have that fun carrot shape. And again, a little white eye spot in each one of the eyes just gives the eyes a little bit of personality there. Now, I told you we're going to light this up. This is the cool white, so it doesn't have the yellow tint like the other lights from the Dollar Tree. I wanted it to be bright white like snow, so that is why I chose those lights for this project. And I'm going to have the battery pack just be on the back so I can turn it on and off or change the batteries without having to take the snowman apart. Now for the snow look, we're going to use the polyfill from the Crafter Square from Dollar Tree and wrap that with the light. So that's going to give us the look of the snow for the snowman without having to frost it. It's also going to help me cover the wires for the light because you really want the light to show through and less of the wires. So I kind of do like one section at a time, making sure I put a little polyfill in front of the wire, but also making sure that the lights are still visible from the front and the sides where you're going to be able to see our little light up snowman. And I just keep doing that until I get to the very top and it's all full. Again, I'm going to leave this out so I don't have to take it apart to be able to turn it on and off or change batteries. So I just hot glue it to the scarf there in the back where you won't be able to see it because of all the polyfill inside the snowman head. So this is what he's looking like so far. I think he's going to be really cute on my kitchen counter for Christmas. I love things on my kitchen counter that I can light up. It looks great in the evening or at night. And then I picked up a black stocking hat from Dollar Tree. I thought this black would be perfect for a snowman hat, right? It is a little too big for the size vase though, so I cut it down and I'm also going to glue seams into it to make it smaller. I need it to be smaller to fit on this little snowman. So I just take one side and glue it on itself. I have it inside out right now. And then I go ahead and do the same thing here on the other side. I did notice it kept being a little bit bigger than I needed, but I didn't want to make it too small, so I kind of downsized one step at a time here. But I love the little black pom-pom on the top. I think that's super cute. So I turn it right side out and then kind of glue those seams a little bit better here on the sides so that you can't see any of that. And I'm also going to be cuffing it like this too when this snowman is wearing it. I'm going to try it on. First size, and it's still a little bit too big. I did think about using Dollar Tree socks for this. And that's going to fit a little bit better than the hat, but I really loved the black hat. I thought that would be perfect for a snowman. So I'm just going to create seams in it like that and downsize it until I get it the perfect size here. It's pretty close. I do have a little bit excess fabric here in the back, so I just cut that out, and I don't really care what the hat looks like in the back. So I'm just going to kind of hot glue it to itself just to make it fit back there after I remove the excess fabric. And then the front, I want it to be, rolled over like a stocking hat would be. And then just kind of glue down any loose pieces I have. Now it is fitting way better on our little snowman, and I think it looks really festive and cute. So here it is, our little light up snowman. Really fun project for Christmas, super easy to do. And I love the little black stocking hat on him. The polyfill makes really cute snow in there. And again, the snowman face is so easy just to paint on yourself. If you hate hand painting, you could always use your Cricut too, if you have one, to cut out some vinyl for a snowman face. But he was actually really easy to do. And I think he turned out so cute. Let me show you how he looks lit up. Really cute. I love Snowman DIYs. I have so many Christmas ideas for this year, and I noticed like half of them are snowmen, so be prepared. Your girl loves snowmen. I always have. Every holiday I've ever decorated as an adult, I always have tons of snowmen. So cute. I really hope you enjoyed these new Christmas Dollar Tree DIYs. Now it's time for the final reveal. Be sure to let me know which one was your favorite down in the comments below. I can't wait to find out, and I hope you enjoy the final reveal.
Whoa, oh, oh. La, da, 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 oh, oh, oh. La, da, 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 oh, oh, oh. La, da, da, da. Making our Christmas memories. I've been working so much lately, I can barely find the time to sleep. Yeah, I spend my time running around, keeping people pleased. But this is my favorite holiday. It's a chance to start over new. 'Cause I missed you, so I'm letting go of everything but you. These are the good times with you. Baby, this year it's just gonna be you and me. Hang by the fire and chill. Isn't this how it's supposed to be? Making our Christmas memories. Oh, and I've been longing to hold you close. Forget about everyone else. Isn't this how it's supposed to be? Making our Christmas memories. Oh, oh. La, da, da, da. Christmas memories. I've been wrapping presents for you. I've been hanging marbles in the tree. And I've lit my house with Christmas lights. So you should come back home to me. And when we wake up in the morning, I'm gonna play those carols that you love. We'll be singing all the melodies until the sun comes up. These are the good times with you. Baby, this year it's just gonna be you and me. Hang by the fire and chill. Isn't this how it's supposed to be? Making our Christmas memories. Oh, and I've been longing to hold you close. Forget about everyone else. Isn't this how it's supposed to be? Making our Christmas memories. Christmas memories. Yes, these are the good times with you. Don't even care what we do if I spend it with you. Just you and nobody else. It's so good to see you again.
Thank you so much for making it all the way to the end of today's video. I also want to give a huge thank you to all of my YouTube members. Thank you to Karen O'Haron, Melinda Elizabeth, Jamie Job, Susan Edmonds, Tracy Knight, Nancy Wunner, Janae Farrington, Pamelia Wren, Donna Schreiner, Live Another Day, Maren Christensen, Adrian Brolt, Debbie Middleton, Red Mama, Tammy Muir, and Donna Tanner. Thank you so much for supporting my YouTube channel. I really appreciate it. If you would like to become a Crafty Beach Mom member, all you have to do is hit the join button next to today's video. You're going to get early ad-free access to my content here on YouTube. It's $4.99 a month, and you're free to cancel at any time. Okay, would you like more Christmas Dollar Tree DIYs? Be sure to check out one of these videos right here. And until next time, happy crafting and Merry Christmas.